Good afternoon. I can always count on a group of students to be so well behaved and just come quiet. So this is audience participation time. So this is celebration of scholarship, right? Right? This is where he's, yeah, okay, fine. So, and this is indeed the University of Maryland at College Park, correct? Yeah? Okay, good, good. Here's why I'm asking you that question. This has been a fairly crazy week, and they say weird, good, and bad things come in sets of 3, and I've had 2 very weird things happen to me this week. So on Wednesday night, I was asked to attend a black tie event honoring Kevin Plank, our own, and I went through my whole day, had to change into a tuxedo, drive into DC with all of the traffic, try to find a parking place to get to this event on time. I take the first parking place I could find, and I follow everybody in a tuxedo into the building. I just follow them. I figure I'm just following these people. So I go to the registration table, and it's packed. I said, I'm skipping that, and I go right into the restroom. And I have my Maryland pinned on. This gentleman says, so you work for the University of Maryland? I said, yeah, I'm Vice President for University Relations, blah, 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 blah. He goes, well, what brings you to the dinner this evening? Well, I'm here to see Kevin. He's been a good donor and a good friend. And he says, Kevin who? You know where this is going, don't you? I said, Kevin Plank. He said, well, who's Kevin Plank? I said, and from the stall behind me, before I could say anything, he goes, you're in the wrong building. It's next door at the other building, Kevin Plank's dinner. I said, thanks a lot. So there's the first weird thing. Yes, this morning, Wallace and I were in Florida last night with some alums. We had a big event and a dinner, and I was going to meet another alum for coffee, and the purpose of my visit was to ask him to endow a scholarship for one of you. So as a little bit of a hurry, and I come running in, he's sitting at a table, and I went up, and as I always do, the first thing I do is hand somebody I'm meeting for the first time my business card, and he took it, and he greeted me, and I said, can I get you a cup of coffee? And I went over, came back with it, and I sat down, and he said, I don't have that much time. And I said, well, neither do I. So I got right into it. He said, what can I do for you? And I said, well, I was hoping that we might ask you to endow a scholarship. He said, okay, how much would you like? I said, $100,000. He said, you're kidding me. I said, no, that's what we were hoping you to do. He said, boy, I didn't see that coming. He said, I don't think I can do that for you. I said, okay, but as any good fundraiser, I went to the next thing. I said, would you consider an annual gift for now? He said, yeah, maybe. And he said, okay. And so I said, listen, I kind of need to get going. And I finally looked at him and I said, when was the last time you were back on campus? He said, what do you mean? I said, have you been back to campus? He goes, I've never been to campus. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this possible? I said, you've never been to our campus? He goes, no, I've never been in the state of Maryland. I said, your name is not James Wright, is it? He said, nope. I said, you've never been to the University of Maryland or graduated from there, have you? Nope. I said, you're the wrong person, aren't you? He said, yep. I said, I am so sorry. I said, what did you think I was doing? He said, I thought you were going table to table asking people for money. There you go. Whoever said it, and I said, as any good fundraiser, before I leave, I said, are you going to make the gift? No. Well, I love this event. It just brings all of the right people together, our students who are remarkable, and you hear some of their stories in a moment, our senior leadership of the university, and most importantly, our benefactors, the very generous people who have endowed scholarships, have provided that critical student support that we need, and it's for you that we say thank you today. So I would like all of our benefactors, all of those that have helped the student financially, please stand up so we can recognize you and give you the round of applause you deserve. Please stand up. I do see several of our trustees in the room. I want to make sure I recognize them. Mark Giardi from Los Angeles over here, and I'm pretty sure I saw Carabelle Pizzagatti somewhere right here. If you both would stand and be recognized, Carabelle and Mark, thank you for your leadership. I'm pretty sure our incredible Vice President for Student Affairs, Linda Clement, is here, and Donald Hamilton and Dean Way are here. If you would all stand, I'm sure I saw Linda somewhere. Where's Linda right here, our Vice President for Student Affairs, Dean Way, College of Agriculture, and I saw Donna somewhere. Where's Donna Hamilton? Where the lights? There's Donna right there. There you are. So as most of you know, April is a month on campus where we highlight and celebrate the innovation and entrepreneurial spirit of our students. We call it 30 Days of Entrepreneurship. See how we did that? Entrepreneurship, yeah. Okay, stick with me here. And we showcase a lot of special events, lectures, contests throughout the months to celebrate our fearless ideas. Some of the events this month include Cupid's Cup on April 22nd, a business competition which is funded by Kevin Plank of Under Armour, in which the top student winners compete for about $115,000. It's a terrific event. One of this year's finalists is Obi Orexi. Now, Obi, where are you? Are you here? Where are you? Are you here? You're sure you're not here? Well, let me tell you about his. I'm glad he's not here because I just completely butchered his name. I'm absolutely positive. But let me tell you about his final, what made it into the finals. It's a fitness startup, Gym Supreme Design, which is patented fitness products that have amazing functionality. So you got to go see this if you're on campus to get the full view. On April 28th, we host what I think is one of the most incredible events on this campus, the Do Good Challenge. Finals, this is where Terps compete to make the greatest social impact for their very favorite causes. The Food Recovery Network, as one example, came out of that competition. And every Friday this month, we host Innovation Fridays at the Digman Center, where students pitch their fearless ideas for new business ventures to successful entrepreneurs, our alums, our business people in the community, come back and offer advice, they offer funding, anything to help those businesses get off the ground. And as you will see today, our students are simply remarkable, and those of you in the audience who have given so generously have made this real impactful for them. Students like Triana McCorkle. Is Triana here? Where's Triana? She's not here. I'm 0 for 2. Is a computer engineering major that spent last summer as a camp counselor for the Maryland Cybersecurity Center Cyber Defense Training Camp for high school students, and who lists her favorite campus organization as Project Hello Stranger, a student organization aimed at creating a happier campus by providing random, simple acts of kindness, free hugs, balloon giveaways, and honk if you're happy events. What do you think? So I think you ought to all come down to the main administration building and spend a day down there. I was hoping you'd laugh a little louder at that, actually. Thanks. Stephanie Giamma, accounting major, who was a first-team All-American on the balance beam as a member of our gymnastics team. I'm pretty sure I saw her here. Where are you? Where are you? Stand up. There you are. I was told to look hard because I'm told you're not very tall, so if you stand up, yeah, you're a gymnast. Casey Patterson, who is a visionary scholar in the College of Arts and Humanities with double degree in English literature and philosophy, and is in the process of adding creative writing minor, of course, and is planning to earn a PhD and pursue a career in academia. And where are you, Casey? I thought I saw you as well. Right there, Casey. There's so many stories like this throughout this room. Those are just 3 or 4 really, really good examples of the remarkable students that we have here. Well, no matter how you judge this university, we are not only progressing, we're just accelerating at breakneck speed. It's an exciting place to be. It's a fun place to be. It's a great place to work. The quality of our students, the remarkable accomplishments of our faculty, the unprecedented support by our alumni this year, the revitalization of College Park, which is happening right before our eyes, the success of our athletic programs. Wallace Lowe has provided extraordinary leadership. And you need a lot of qualities to be a great president. You got to be really smart. You got to be really courageous. You have to have an incredible work ethic. But the one thing to be a good president that you have to have, that Wallace has more than anybody I've ever seen, is a caring for our student that's undeniable. Wallace Lowe cares about our students. Every decision he makes it of how it will affect our students. And for that, I'm so pleased to work with him and so very pleased to introduce our president, Wallace Lowe. Wallace?
Thank you, Peter. And welcome all to you who are the scholarship winners and the benefactors of these winners. This annual celebration of scholarship is perhaps for me one of the most moving and joyous occasions that we celebrate at this university. It's for me very personal. And I'm reminded of that old proverb from the country that I came from decades ago. If you want 1 year of prosperity, you plant rice. If you want 10 years of prosperity, you plant trees. And if you want 100 years of prosperity, you grow people. In 100 years, the population of this planet is completely turned over. This is why, when I was coming back, and unfortunately the life of a president is spent almost as much on airplanes as it is in College Park, but I had the misfortune of sitting next to a loquacious businessman on a recent trip across the country. And he was telling me about all his business deals, you know, the mergers he was doing and his acquisitions, and finally he said, "So, what business are you in?" I said, "Well, I am in the immortality business." "Oh, so you are a preacher?" "No, I am in the education business. In the business that helps expand people's minds, develop the potential that's within them, so that they can go out and make a difference in the world. And in so doing, they change their lives, the lives of their children, and their children's children. And all of us who make that thing possible know that our impact extends through eternity." I tell you this because those of you who are the benefactors of scholarships today, I want to thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you on the behalf of our students, because you too are in the immortality business. When I came here at the age of 15 and ended up in the middle of a cornfield in Iowa, and it was until many, many years later that I learned the identity of the person who funded my scholarship. It paid for about 2/3 of my tuition. The college let me wash pots and pans in the college cafeteria that paid for one meal a day. And during the summers and during the breaks, there was an elderly lady who lived in the farm who opened her home for me to stay there because the dorms were closed. Her name was Jenny Wilson. It was until many, many years later that I learned who was the person who had funded my scholarship at that small school. And she was Jenny Wilson. Without her generosity, I would not be here standing before you today as the president of the University of Maryland. And I know that all of you who give, you do it of the goodness of your heart. Several days ago, I was having dinner with a donor with 2 of her students who are pre-med students, and they were expressing their incredible gratitude to this donor. And you know what she said? She says, "Thank you, but I need to thank you because you make me so happy that I have this opportunity to give back." I think it was Robert Louis Stevenson who said, You can give without love, but you cannot love without giving. And I know that people who give to scholarships today, so that students at the University of Maryland have a chance of a world-class education and go change the world, they do it out of love for the next generation and love for their alma mater and for the University of Maryland. Being an American, I think it was F. Scott Fitzgerald said, is a willingness of the heart. It is what we do out of the heart, giving back, doing good, making a difference. That is what makes America work. That is citizenship in action. What makes this a great country is the fact that people do give back and give back voluntarily. Government does great things, but ultimately it's the acts of individual persons that makes this country what it is. And let me just conclude by reminding you students the following, which, if you heard my speech in your freshman year, you'll remember. There is one thing that I would like you to remember, and I said that to you in your freshman year. 1 in 1,000. Only 1 in 1,000 persons on this planet has the opportunity of a college education. So someday, a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades from now, as you're out there in the world doing good, making a difference, think back, nobody achieves what he or she achieves solely by virtue of his or her own efforts. Somebody stood behind you and supported you, encouraged you, and helped you. And someday, as you are a proud Terp, I hope you will come back and sit where the benefactors are today sitting and giving back to support the next generation. We are all Terps, we're all in this together, and we are fearless. We're fearless in supporting our alma mater, fearless in supporting the future generation of leaders and citizens of this country. Thank you all for being here tonight, and go Terps!
Wallace, thank you for those very inspirational remarks. We spent a lot of time together. We were in Florida last night, and when we checked into the hotel, Wallace was right in front of me, and I said, when did you get here? He said, right now. I said, what flight were you on? He said, the one from BWI that just landed. The same one I was on, you mean? Didn't even know we were together. That's how much. But thank you, Wallace. I would like to share with you a video now, which I just love, and I hope you love it too, showcasing some of our wonderful scholars and our donors. On this video, you'll meet Neil and Helen Carey, two of our loyal alums who celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary by establishing a scholarship. They say while some people go on a cruise and travel the world, we, on the other hand, decided to establish a scholarship for a graduate student in the Department of Counseling and Personnel Services within the College of Education. They are with us this evening, I believe. Could they stand? Where are you? Right? Where are you? There they are. What a terrific gift and what a terrific gesture. Featured also in this is scholarship donor and member of our Board of Trustees, Gordon England, who is not with us tonight, but is an alum with a storied career serving as the Secretary of the Navy, Deputy Secretary of Defense, and is the first Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, and by the way, a generous and wonderful man. You'll also meet Janice Flung, an alum, who is a member of the university staff working in the libraries, practicing the skills she learned here as a graduate student in library sciences. She's been contributing to the university for as far back as our records go, and they go back quite a ways. Janice is here with us as well this evening. And Janice, would you please stand and be recognized? Where are you, Janice? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Somebody just stand and say your name's Janice. How about that? Well, I wish you were here to hear your applause because she is amazing. So with that said, can we take a look at the video?
My name is Liz Wasden. I'm going to be graduating this May 2015, and I'm the Hospitality Director for Student Entertainment Events.
My name is Rebecca Creighton. I'm a senior agricultural science and technology major.
My name is Joshua Trowell. I'm in the class of 2016, and I'm a scholarship recipient.
I'm Neil Carey, originally from the Eastern Shore of Maryland.
I'm Helen Carey, and I came to Maryland indirectly from Alabama by way of North Carolina.
I'm Gordon England, engineering graduate, proud graduate, Terrapin class of 1961.
I'm Janice Flug, class of 1975 from the library school, and I am a donor to the University of Maryland.
Personally, my scholarship has had a huge impact on my education, and I'm graduating on time with a minor, and I'm just really appreciative of my opportunity to have a scholarship.
I started giving to the University of Maryland right after I graduated from the library school. I know even as a public institution, not all their monies come from the state. They're dependent on other alumni giving and other foundation gifts.
The scholarship for all of the C directors allows them to kind of focus on the duties of their student entertainment events position. It allows them to focus on serving the campus community rather than maybe committing that time to another campus job.
So I wanted to fund engineering, and I wanted to fund excellence in engineering. So the scholarships are for exceptional students. Frankly, I would like the students on scholarship to have time to participate more fully in the university and not just engineering. So I would just assume they not work all the time, but actually find time to participate more fully in the university system, because that's part of the education process.
So my scholarship means three important things. First, opportunity, next, hope, and lastly, just the ability to make a better life for myself.
We had had some experience at another university in terms of making donations, but when we were anticipating the celebration of our 50th anniversary, we decided that we would like to celebrate by celebrating others and students.
We established the Carey Graduate Grant to provide support to students in the Counseling and Personnel Services Department.
Having a scholarship has really motivated me, and I've really pushed myself to do well academically and perform well at University of Maryland, so I think having a scholarship has helped me to be a more well-rounded person.
It's in your heart, and you just, for the love of it, you give.
I see these donations as a win-win situation. It's a win-win because it's a win for you, and it's a win for the university, and certainly for the recipient, the student recipient.
We're very positive about having the opportunity to give back to the University of Maryland, and we think it's a great investment in a strong institution, one of the best in the country.
I just want to thank all of the alumni who have donated to scholarships here at the University of Maryland. There are so many students who have really thrived here in this campus environment, and it's all thanks to the alumni who have donated to them.
They've had a huge impact on my education, and I'm just very grateful for the opportunity to be here. I would just say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your generosity and support. Without your help, I would not be here right now.
So I've got a new fundraising idea, it just came to me. So I'm going to take that video and I'm going to walk into any Starbucks and I'm just going to set it up play it, then walk table to table. I think I can do this. I think I can do this. You actually don't believe that happened to me this morning, do you? It really actually happened. You don't really believe it. I'm waiting for the third one to drop, and before I go home tonight and get in that bed, I'm going to ask if Karen Weiler's in there. That's my wife, by the way. Don't want to make that mistake. It's now my honor to introduce a 2014 alumnus from the College of Behavioral and Social Sciences and an Incentive Award Scholarship recipient, Davian Morgan. Davian was an active member of campus life in his undergraduate years, involved in diversity initiatives and residence life. He received a scholarship all of his 4 years here at Maryland and is a first-generation college student hailing from Oxon Hill, Maryland. Davian is now teaching first grade at Ingenuity Prep Public Charter School in Washington, D.C., while pursuing a master's degree in educational study, and hopes to help prepare the next generation of students with the knowledge, skills, and mindset they will need to be successful. Please welcome Marion.
Good evening, everyone. As Peter mentioned, he took the first half of my speech, so I can just cut that part out. But again, I'm a University of Maryland Incentive Award Scholarship recipient, and I just want to speak on the importance of giving back and the importance of scholarships at the University of Maryland. As was mentioned, I do teach first grade at Ingenuity Prep Public Charter School in Washington, D.C., and I am a 2014 Teach for America Corps member. I am a Prince George's County native, attended Potomac High School in Oxon Hill, Maryland, and from my freshman year, I always knew that the University of Maryland was my dream school, but again, had those doubts primarily because of financial reasons. Prince George's County, growing up in Prince George's County and growing up in Ward 8 of Washington, D.C. wasn't the easiest life, and money was at times an issue for me, so college education for me was always dependent on me getting a scholarship. It wasn't as easy as me putting away money. It wasn't as easy as my family putting away money in a scholarship fund. I knew that I had to actively seek scholarship after scholarship after scholarship, apply to this school, apply to that school. Even if I didn't want to go there, I still applied, just because scholarships are so important. My scholarship played a major role in keeping me motivated, prepared, and sane during my time here at Maryland. And I chose the University of Maryland primarily because of my scholarship and because it was close enough to home but far away from my mother. Scholarships not only lift the financial burdens off of students, but they give students the chance to focus on everything else that they truly need to focus on, especially as a student here at the University of Maryland. With a rigorous curriculum, with so many extracurricular activities to be involved in, there's so many things that can take up your focus and get you distracted. I know plenty of students who didn't graduate. I know plenty of students that didn't graduate on time. And that's simply because they didn't have their focus. A lot of them, it was because of financial reasons. They had to leave. Or it was something related to financial reasons, but they weren't able to focus on their studies. Their grades started to slip because they were too focused on paying bills versus focusing on their next test. And for me, I knew that for some students, it's not even an option to come to college just because of their scholarship opportunities. It becomes an ultimate struggle, again, when you have to focus more on how are you going to pay your next monthly student bill versus studying for your bio exam the next morning, and that's true for a lot of students, and it was true for me. Luckily, I was able to focus on my studies, and I was grateful of my scholarship opportunity, and I'm sure that all of the students sitting before you here today are just as grateful. Scholarships provide so much more than just money. A lot of people typically think of scholarship as just being money, 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 and for me, that definitely wasn't the case. And I want everyone to know that it's not the case. Of course, money is a big factor, but it is not the only factor. My scholarship program provided so much support. They provided guidance. They provided opportunities for me to get my resume looked over. They provided opportunities for me to get a new job, for me to apply for Teach for America, and I was set up in a way that set me up for success. And without the generosity of donors, as well as the many benefactors that are here today, I probably wouldn't be standing here before you. And even if I was, I would probably be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in debt, which is the true story of so many students. With your help, I was able to get more focused on campus and be involved with the Black Student Union, NAACP, OMSI, the Orientation Department, Resident Life, and Omicron Delta Kappa, instead of stressing over financial burdens. With your help, I was able to attend the top 20th public university, AKA the University of Maryland, and continue my studies at the #1 ranked graduate school for education's Johns Hopkins University. From a computer engineering major, to a criminology major, to a sociology double major, to a terrorism studies, to a global terrorism studies minor, aka a student that had no clue what he wanted to do with his life, I finally found my true passion, and it was indeed education. I found my passion in education, had no experience with kids, honestly didn't want kids, but now I go to work every day with 32 amazing first graders with gleaming smiles. Of course, waking up at 5:30 in the morning is not the easiest thing, but as soon as you get to work and the Keurig machine is free and you get to pop in some coffee and you see some smiles, everything changes. I am now a Teach for America Corps member serving in DC as a first grade teacher, and I know how much education plays in the role of everyone's life. Not only my life, but as I look back, I look at my students. I think to myself, will they have the same opportunity that they did? And that's when it hits home. Some of them will, some of them won't. And when you think and you reflect back on that, is when it really hurts your heart. As a Teach for America Corps member, we've learned so many things, and I've reflected on so many things. Growing up in a neighborhood that's directly down the street from where I teach now, it's still pretty rough. But to know that there are people out here, like some of you, who actually put aside some of their money, some of their time, and some of their work to help students like me, to help students like them, definitely makes a difference, and it will continue to make a difference. Hopefully one day, they'll be a proud Maryland Terp and they'll make that smart decision and won't ever go to Duke or any other school like that. But I'm just saying. But my experiences at the University of Maryland have completely changed my life and have set me up for success in so many ways that I can't even explain. I will carry those experiences with me, of course, for the rest of my life. I've met so many amazing people, met so many amazing donors, met so many amazing students, and I've been set up for success in a way that I will never forget and that will always impact my life. Students, please continue to make the most of your experience here at the University of Maryland, whether you're a second semester freshman or a graduating senior. Just as donors helped me, I know I have the opportunity to help the next generation of Terps and continue on to give back. Even as a teacher, I have committed to myself that I will decide to put monthly deposits away for other students, not even just specifically for my scholarship program, but you can look around this room and see that there's so many other scholarship programs and scholarship funds to give to, and it's really a hard choice to make because all of these scholarship programs and funds are so important. So my big message is to think about the importance of these scholarships. Continue to think about the importance that they play not only in your life as a donor or as a recipient, but how can you make a difference in someone else's life? Thank you.
Davian, thank you. That was terrific, and we're just so inspired by you, and just stay teaching. Do what you love to do. So you mentioned at the beginning that I took the first half of your speech. Did you make a fool out of yourself at a Starbucks as well this morning? Is that what happened? Our next guest is not only a great colleague, but a good friend. Barbara Gill is Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management. Now, as I introduce Barbara, for all the students in the room, I want you to think about something. She was ahead of all of admissions when you were applying here. So I just want you to think about how loud you're going to applaud for her. So just let that sink in for a little bit, because she admitted every single person in this room. So I just want you to think about that. But the neat thing about Barbara's job is she gets to see all of what we're talking about from a much grander view than anyone of us. As an Associate VP for Enrollment Management, Barbara's responsible for providing leadership on all matters related to admissions and financial aid policy, including undergraduate student recruitment, enrollment, and success. Prior to her current role, Barbara spent more than 10 years as the Director of Undergraduate Admission, and she admitted every one of you as our Assistant Vice President. She's a great colleague, a two-time graduate of the university, receiving both her bachelor's degree and her master's degree. Please welcome Barbara Gill.
So Peter, before I get started, I have to find out who I can talk to about the order of this evening, because I have to follow too many incredible people. We've got Peter, who's so incredibly charming. We've got President Lowe, he oozes passion. Every time I hear him speak, it's amazing. I get goosebumps. And then we just had Davian, who is so incredibly inspirational. And what do you get next? Me. I got a PowerPoint. So I'll try to make it interesting for you if I can. So congratulations to all of the students who are here. We are very, very proud of all of you. And congratulations, and thank you very, very much to all of the donors. We appreciate all of your generosity, and if it weren't for you, we wouldn't have all of these incredible students in the audience. Oops, oh, sorry, it was already on the first slide there. So here, this is me. I'm the Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management. Peter already told you what I'm responsible for, but sort of having grown up in the worlds of admissions and financial aid, I kind of grew up sort of not wanting to ever disappoint people. And so tonight, I want to share with you some very good news and some news that I'll call news of opportunity, because I never share bad news. So the first bit of good news is on this first slide here. I get to brag about some amazing students we have at the University of Maryland. Now, of course, SAT scores are not everything. Not every student who enrolls here even has SAT scores, because we have a lot of students who first start as transfer students. But this is one measure of the amazing talent we have here at the university and our students. It shows the 25th and the 75th percentile of SAT scores who are entering compared to all of our Big Ten peers and competitors. So number one, University of Michigan, maybe no surprise. Number two, we have the University of Illinois. And number three, the University of Maryland. Not so bad for our first year in the Big Ten. Here we go. We've got another measure of talent here. This is a measure of achievement of entering freshmen. The percentage of students who come to us who have graduated in the top 10% of their high school class. This is pretty impressive. 71% of our incoming freshmen graduated in the top 10% of their graduating classes just last year. Now, shown another way, we like this way even better because it shows Maryland all the way out on top, right? And I love the fact that Maryland is red. Perfect. So terrific, terrific students. So it's no surprise that our students are also amazingly successful. We have a very high first to second year retention rate, and also a very high 6-year graduation rate. You can see the university is at the bottom, but we're not at the bottom. In the next slide, it's depicted a little bit more positively. We actually, if you look at the combined success of our students, the retention and graduation rates, we are number 3 again. We got a little bit of room to grow, but it's certainly an opportunity for us to brag. And then when our students graduate, and this is actually getting a little bit more salient to what we're talking about here this evening, our students do graduate with some loan debt, but actually we fall at the bottom or at the top in terms of the lowest loan debt that our students graduate with. And then once students do graduate, they pay their debts off. You can see that the university, as I said, we have the lowest average loan debt of our students who graduate, and I think we're ranked number 4 in the average default rate of our students. So our students also pay their debts. We appreciate that. Now for the news of opportunity. Now, all students who apply for financial aid at the University of Maryland, we do whatever we can to be able to meet all of their needs. But there still is unmet need here at the University of Maryland. If you were to look at all of our students combined this past year, and you were to try to guess, think in your mind what the total amount of unmet need of that group is, I'm not sure you could possibly guess. It's an incredibly large figure. Now, before I oversaw financial aid, I'm not sure I ever dealt in numbers with that many commas, but that's pretty impressive, I have to say. Impressive not necessarily in a positive way, but we're calling this news of opportunity, not bad news. And just for comparison purposes, part of the reason that we have this very large unmet need figure is because we're just not very well funded in comparison to our peers. You can kind of see where the University of Maryland falls, sort of third from the bottom in our financial aid budgets. This both includes merit and need and some endowments. You can look at what some of the institutions are all the way to our left. Maybe not as surprising, but certainly it's news of opportunity, right? And the other comparison piece of information I wanted to share with you is the average grant that we award to our students compared to other Big Ten institutions. Also a little bit more toward the bottom. So we've got some places to grow there. Now, I know we've spent a lot of time here this evening hearing from our students, and we've got more of that to do, but I wanted to share with you, just because one of the great opportunities that I have in the financial aid office is to work with students who are awarded scholarships and hear from their voices, and in their voices, how much they appreciate their scholarship awards. And I wanted to just read to you a couple of thank you notes that some of you in this room may have already read because they're thanking you as donors, but I thought it'd be helpful for the whole room to hear a couple of them. One is from Christina Lopez, who is currently on the Darmody Terpstart Scholarship. She says, everyone is born with a life to live. However, it's not simply being alive that gives its purpose so much as finding something to live for and pursuing it without fear. For me, that purpose is medical school, to be someone who can express my compassion for others in the most simplest of ways and to be an inspiration for others to do good. I'm not extraordinary. Rather, I'm a very ordinary person. The eldest of 5, the first in her family to go to college, a girl who loves to dance. However, I believe that I have the potential to do extraordinary things that can impact the lives of others in the most beautiful of ways. It is because of your generosity that I'm so much closer to achieving this dream. Thank you for this precious gift of generosity and for giving an ordinary person like me the chance to be extraordinary. And this from Brittany Musselwhite, who received the Dr. Patricia Florestano Scholarship. Thank you so much, with lots of exclamation points. I am so grateful for the donation that you've given me. I'm a returning student, and I initially had to stop going to school because I couldn't afford my day-to-day living expenses. I was attending classes at the University of Kentucky full-time while working as a full-time cashier. I quickly became overwhelmed and my grades suffered because I had to focus so much of my energy and time on earning money instead of studying. Now that I'm back in school, I've been able to fully concentrate on my studies, partially due to the scholarships that I've received from the University of Maryland and the Maryland Air National Guard. Without this financial support, I don't believe I'd be able to attend school without burying myself in debt and living off of ramen noodles. I'm sure many of you know what that's like. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations again to all of the students, and thank you very, very much again to all of the donors. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Barbara. So for all the alums in the room, when Barbara put up the data of the incoming freshman class, I know what you all said to yourself. I'll never get in. You're right. You probably wouldn't get in. It is that good. Now, I said that same remark last night in Florida, and people laughed a lot more than you did, by the way. Just want to tell you that. They thought it was very funny. But a room full of alums, and actually 2 of the alums came up after me and said, no, we probably get in. We're that smart. And I said, I was just kidding. I was really just kidding. Our last speaker is just a remarkable young man. He is the recipient of the Veteran Scholarship. He is set to graduate this year with a degree in kinesiology and pursue a career in sports marketing. Rob Mongold served 8 years in the United States Army as a medic and was deployed 3 times, twice to Iraq and once to Thailand. He is extremely committed to helping fellow veterans as they navigate their way through this big university. Please welcome to our stage Rob Mongold. Rob.
First off, I would just like to say Thank you, thank you, and thank you. I'm only able to stand up here a month from graduation because of the generosity of people like you. I'm a student, I've graduated in a month, and I stand up here as a model student. I study hard, I get good grades, and I give back to my peers. I work for the Student Engagement Office at the Stamp Student Union. I'm a peer advisor leader for the PAVE program, which is a program I helped bring here that mentors young veterans. And I work sports marketing for Maryland Athletics. Go Terps. I'm here tonight for an important reason. I'm able to attend this great university because I was given a second chance. I was an Army medic with 2 tours to Iraq, with the second one ending only months before I started the University of Maryland. After having spent the last few years in the Army, I felt like I could do anything. I thought I was invincible and I could take the whole world on, and I would never ask for help because that would make me weak. Unfortunately, I needed help badly. Like so many of my peers, I had a hard time leaving the war and the things I saw there behind. I struggled every night with nightmares. Sorry, first speech ever, so you're gonna bear with me a little bit, but yeah. I wish more than anything I had taken a year to decompress, to become a normal civilian again, and to get, back to normal. But unfortunately, I didn't. But life is not about regrets. I'm happy to be up here today, and the past, the past. And I truly believe the strongest person is not the person who never gets knocked down, but the person that gets knocked down and keeps getting back up. During my first time in Maryland, I struggled every night with guilt and nightmares of every patient I didn't save. I couldn't sleep more than a few hours a night, and eventually the lack of sleep caught up with me. I was a pre-med major who couldn't focus for anything more than a few minutes, and I was falling asleep in class daily. I started to do poorly as I just couldn't focus. The lack of sleep and failing what I was trying to do made me fall into a deep depression. Saving lives is the greatest and most meaningful thing I've ever done in my life. And there wasn't a doubt in my mind I wanted to be a doctor. That was all that I ever wanted to be, and I was failing at it. I was failing miserably, and it just made me feel terrible myself. Around this time, my unit redeployed without me, and the guilt of me not being there for my guys, coupled with the depression I was experiencing, all but crippled me emotionally. I just thought my friend Buberos was shot multiple times. He didn't ask for help. Why do I deserve it? That would make me weak. But I stand up here today and I say, I need help. And it's okay to ask. It doesn't make me less of a person. I was actually asked to leave the University of Maryland because of my poor grades, and I bounced around from job to job, miserable and feeling like a failure. Shortly afterwards, I hit a bottom. My girlfriend of 3 years left me because she said she couldn't be with a loser. I got to the point where it felt like everyone had given up on me, and most of all, I'd given up myself. As many of you know, there's an epidemic out there with veterans and suicide, and if it wasn't for my safety net, my incredible loving family here, I'd probably just be another sad statistic. I'd hit a bottom, and I didn't know what to do. The only thing I could do is I reached out to the woman I now call my guardian angel, Dr. Marsha Gunsler-Stevens, and I said, help me. How do I get my life back on track? I'm at the lowest I've ever been, and I need to get back. When the pain gets bad enough, they say you'll change. And that's the point I had to get to myself. So anyways, I spoke to someone, I started getting help, started figuring out ways to help me sleep at night, and just kind of deal with my emotions. I would start at a community college, Anne Arundel, great place, and I got straight A's for 2 semesters. And then came the moment of truth, my time to apply back for readmittance to the University of Maryland. My first day back was the greatest day of my life. I remember walking past the big M circle and just tearing up my eyes, because I know I made it. I made it back. From being at the very bottom of my life, where I had no hope, I made it back. And, I mean, it was just the greatest day of my life. But, unfortunately, I'd wasted the majority of my military educational benefits in my struggles. And I can only now afford to go to school because of the generosity of you people. I'm a veteran scholarship, and I can only afford to go to school thanks to the generosity of the faculty, staff members, and members of this university that have helped me to get here. The scholarships that provide by benefactors like you are able to give people like me a second chance. And I would just like to say thank you, and thank you for giving me that chance, the thing I want most in the world, to graduate from the University of Maryland, the best university in Maryland, the best university in the world. Sorry. Anyways, thank you so much, and I promise I will not let you down, and I can't wait till I have a job and I can pay it back forward. Thank you very much.
Are these your parents?
My parents, right?
There's your parents, Catherine and Bob. Catherine and Bob, stand up, please, stand up. I'm pretty sure you did a great job. You got a standing ovation. I think you did okay, Rob. That was just terrific. I do want to tell you all, this was my first speech, too. See, it doesn't work. See, I didn't get the applaud. I got nothing. But I got so much. That was just terrific, and thank you for your service. Thank you. So this is the end of our formal program. I am told, by the way, if I'm reading this right, I think I'm reading this right, that happy hour is extended till 7:30. Yay! Is that right? Out there at the Commons. So if you're so inclined, I guess happy hour is going to be extended to the Commons. Please do get your pictures taken. Is that right? Before you go. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to have all of our students stand, and you're going to applaud all of our benefactors. You're going to look around, find one, look them in the eye, and applaud them. Go ahead, stand up. Come on, stand up and applaud them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here this evening. Thanks for all you do, especially our benefactors, for our students. Thanks for making us so proud. And at least every single person that came up here, by the way, had a common theme, is that I'm going to give back when you're ready. So I'm going to come see you. I'm going to come see you, and I'll be delighted to see you. Thanks so much for tonight. Go Terps.